Hello, welcome to the Best Tennis Podcast. I'm Anna Chakvetadze. We run this channel together with Dinara Safina, and today Marion Bartoli will be joining us. Hi Marion, long time no see.
Hi girls, I know it's been forever. I feel like forever really, but I always miss you. Always
We
thinking
miss
of
you
you.
too. Are you in Dubai?
I'm in Dubai, yes. I was on the tennis court actually today coaching. It was 39 degrees. After 5 minutes, I was sweating like in Asia when we used to play against each other. And I was like, I don't like this. But normally the weather is supposed to be better next week, which hopefully it will. For my 40th birthday, my 40-year-old birthday next week. So I'm getting old now.
How are you going to
Yeah.
celebrate? It's going to be a big party?
Well, with kids, it never can be a big party anymore because when you're a mother, it just can't be a big party because the next day you have to bring your kids at school and everything. But yeah, I'm going to make something special for sure. I mean, 40, I have to. So it's going to be a lot of balloons, a lot of glitters, and a lot of pink, everything that I like because I'm still a child. But no, for 40 years old, I have to make something.
That's nice. I have a question. I'm always this when we talk with Anna. I'm like, I wish we can all catch up, during the lunch and all this, and to see all the girls that we. You also would like to do this because we always like discuss with Anna, and she's like, I don't know, sometimes not with everybody. So what about you?
No, of course. I mean, as I was telling you, I miss you. I miss all the time we used to spend together. And I think even though, of course, we had to play at some points against each other, we always kept a great relationship. We always had respect for each other. And now we moved to something completely different. We moved to a new life. We have other priorities. And I'm always sort of catch up with you, asking Tatiana Golovin for news about you guys.
She knows all the gossips.
I know, and she gave me all the gossip and everything. So that's how I catch up with you. But I think we just used to have so many nice memories together that we will have forever. And I think it would be great to just keep that. And obviously here in Dubai, I'm close with Sanya Mirza because she lives here. But that's why I always ask you when you are in town to message me so we can see each other. And yeah, I miss all those chats we used to have together. And with
Is
Meta
it,
as
it
well, because Meta so always been
is it
nice to
true
see you guys.
is it true that your daughter and Sanya Mirza's son are playing together?
Yes, exactly. And they're best friends. His name is Izan. I tried to put my daughter in the same school so they could go to the same class, but the school was already full. And in Dubai, the years, I mean, you have to apply like 1 year in advance. It's crazy. But they go to sort of school that are very close by, so we can still hang out on the weekend. We go to each other's house. They spend time together. They play together. They love each other. So it's nice to see that now we all transition to something different, and we're all mothers, and we can see our kids growing up together, which is amazing. When you remember, like 10, 15 years ago, we used to fight on the tennis court. It's nice to see that now things have changed.
And what keeps you busy these days beside coaching? TV, we know,
Yeah, so yeah, I'm
commentating.
doing exactly TV commentating for tennis. I have my own radio show, so I know exactly the kind of work you guys are doing because I do the same in French, obviously. So I do it from Dubai. So I have my own radio box that I carry everywhere I'm going because I have to still doing it, even though, for example, I was in New York for the US Open. And it was the first episode of the new season of my own show. So I had to do it in New York while the US Open was going on. With the jet lag and the time difference, it was completely different timing for me, but I still had to think about it, preview the guests, find the guests. So I really like it because it's a nice challenge for me. I think you can see the photo in the back. So it's all about sports, but it's not only tennis. So I think you can see the photo behind me. There is Tom Cruise. So I interviewed Tom Cruise for my radio show, which was very special, I can tell you. And then tennis-wise, we had Rafa, Novak, Carlos. I'm hoping to get Roger one day. He's very, very difficult. Andre Agassi has agreed. And then we did a lot of football players because obviously in France, people love football. So we tried to do a lot of football players, rugby. And we had the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, who came on the show, which was very special as well. So I'm always trying to have new targets, new names that I really, really want to get in touch with. But obviously, the higher you go in the list, the tougher they are to get. But that's my sort of little challenge that reminds me a bit of the tennis days when I used to have challenge as well. So my next ones on the list are Lewis Hamilton,
Oh.
David Beckham, and Zinedine Zidane. So
Oh.
hopefully by the end of the season, I will be able to get at least 2 out of 3. We will see. You guys really worked hard as well. I mean, I don't think I was
Compa-
working harder than you. I think you were really right there as well. It was tough competition.
Compared to you, nothing. Huh? It's nothing.
No,
Tell us
not
a
true.
little. Tell us a little bit about your work with Yelena Ostapenko. How
Yeah,
did you like
yeah.
coaching her?
It was very interesting because obviously I followed her, and when she won Roland Garros, the year she won, I interviewed her on the court when she was going through the draw and starting to beat everybody. And she has a very aggressive game style. She hit the ball very hard, and I could also almost like recognize myself in the way she was playing. So she called me. It was end of 2019. Yeah, end of 2019, and she was going down in the ranking. She was almost dropping outside the top 100, and it was 3 weeks before the end of the season. So I'm like, I mean, what do you want me to do in 3 weeks before the end of the season? It's almost impossible. I'm not a magician. She's like, no, it's okay, just come. We just try for 2 weeks and we will see how it goes. So we go to Linz, and the schedule was Linz and Luxembourg to finish the season. We go to Linz. She's coming from Beijing, so she's dead with the jet lag and everything. And so I'm like telling her, okay, Yelena, I think you have to do this and this and this on the court. And she was trying, but with the jet lag and everything, it was very difficult. She played her first match, and she keeps on asking me for tips and advice before almost each point. And I was like, Yelena, just swing the ball, just play. I mean, I can't tell you before each point what to do. I mean, it's just not possible. You see the ball, you just hit it.
Question: Did your father ever give you advices on the court? Because he was normally sitting
Yeah,
quiet, like it
very
was for
little. Almost nothing.
very little. Yeah.
Almost
I
nothing.
remember
It was
how he applauded to the opponent. That was kind of, or like, seriously. How did
exactly.
you feel
I, I
about that?
used I used to get so mad at him when he was doing that. I was like, "Don't believe you're clapping right up," and he was like, "Yeah, but it was a good point." I'm like, "Just don't do it." It was, oh my god, but it was very very silent. That's for sure. And Yelena,
But did you ever get angry on him?
oh yeah,
Did you
no,
ever go to?
of course, yeah. But I would just not show it. I would just not show it. But internally, oh my God, I was like, you remember? I don't even remember this player. What's her name? Bondarenko. Remember? Adriana Bondarenko with very long hair. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. And I used to play against her like 5, 6 times a season. I don't know why I was always drawing her. And my dad was always clapping her points, and I was like, "You have to stop this. I mean, that's enough. I have enough of this clapping her all the time." So every time I had to beat her like so bad because I was just so mad inside me. But it's fine.
Recently we were talking with Svetlana Kuznetsova about our parents,
Yeah,
how they always wanted us to achieve like the best results, and how they pushed a bit, too much maybe
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
how was with your father? What is the relationship now, and how it used to be when you were playing?
So my dad, obviously, as you know, he was a doctor himself. So for him, tennis was like, it's not like he didn't care, but it was not very important because he had his job, he had his life. He was not coming from sport. He didn't know anything about sports. So he was not like a top athlete like Zveta's parents, for example. So for him, it was just like, okay, you want to do this, you want to play tennis, I'm going to try to help you, but you have to figure it out on your own because, I can't swing the ball for you. I can't be like doing whatever you have to do in terms of hours for you. You have to do it yourself. You have to want it yourself. And if you want to win a Grand Slam, it has to be your dream, and it's definitely not mine. That's why my dad was never like showing so much because for him it was just like, okay, if she's happy doing that, it's fine, but it's not like I want her to do this. So for example, now he barely watched tennis. He barely watched like follow it because it's not like really was his passion. It was more mine. So for me in Dubai, the TV is constantly like showing TV matches, like tennis matches all the time because I just love tennis and I love to watch still. But for him, it's like, I tell him the results, like, oh, really? This happened? Oh, really? That happened? I'm like, you're not even following at all anymore. Like, do you even know who won the US Open? Or, he could barely tell me, like, who won the US Open. That's how much he's following now. So the relationship we had was obviously, as you know, when you get to high level of stress and you have a lot of competition, sometimes it can get tense, of course, but it was never his dream. And I think that made it easier for me because if I wanted to quit, then it would be my decision. It's not like he was forcing me to play, 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 play. You have to do this, do this, do this. So it was, that's why when I retired after winning because for me, it was my dream to win. And after that, that was it. A lot of parents would not say to their child, no, you have to keep playing because now you're going to win so much money. Now you're going to get all the contracts. Now you won the Grand Slam. And my father was always outside of that decision. So that's why for me, when I finally got my dream, which was winning a Grand Slam, I said, you know what? That's enough. My body's like in pieces. I practiced so hard for so many years. I have to leave this place. But I understand that it can be difficult. I can see it with my daughter now. She's turning 4 at the end of the year. And every day it's like, you're questioning yourself whether you took the right decision, whether you speak to her well, whether you have done something right or wrong, whether you have done enough or not enough. So you can tell that our parents try their best, and maybe sometimes they do mistakes, but I don't think they do it with bad intention.
How is the relationship with your dad now? He has a granddaughter.
He loves his granddaughter, and funny enough, so Camilla was born in Corsica where my parents are living. So, she was born in Corsica, so she's French. And once in a while, like every week almost when she wakes up, instead of saying that she goes to school, she tells me, Mama, let's pack the suitcase. We need suitcase. We have to go to the airport. We have to go see Papi and Mommy and the dog and this and that. So she loves to always talk to my father on the phone. She wants me to always call them video calls and whatever and see them. And I talk to my dad every day. Every day for whichever reason. I ask him advice on how I should raise my child. What should I say? What should I do? How much should I push, not push? And we're constantly in touch. Absolutely. I absolutely love and adore my parents. I know how much they have sacrificed for me. It's my mom can't even swing a tennis ball and my dad can barely swing it over the net. So from there to take me to winning Wimbledon, it takes a lot of sacrifices and a lot of efforts from my parents. And I will always, always be so thankful for everything they have done for me.
And for me, let's say, like you said, you were you're still doing commentates and then you were working with Yelena. Let's say, do you compare sometimes, or you look back like, we're practicing more hard, or do you ever compare when we were used to play and with the now generation?
I do it all the time. All the time. And that's why when I start to coach her, for me, in a way, it was easy because we used to play not missing. I mean, we could remember when we were practice, we could play with one ball for like 30 minutes, 0 mistakes. And when we were playing, we couldn't miss. It was just like we were playing, not missing. It was just the way we were playing. And then when we were playing against each other in the points in the match, it was the same. It was construction where you place the ball, but it was just not like 2 or 3 shots and mistake. So when I started with Yelena, I was just telling her, stop missing so much. Stop going for the lines every single ball. You hit the ball hard enough. You don't have to go for the lines, and structure her a little bit. And with a little bit of structure, but really not that much, she won 9 matches out of 10. She made final of the first tournament. She lost to Coco Gauff in the final. And next one she won. And she was back in the top 50 in 2 weeks. Because I gave her a little bit of the structure. And for us, I think when I look back at what we used to be able to produce, obviously you had Serena, who was just, in another league. But the rest of us, we were constructing what we were doing. We knew exactly where to place the ball. We knew exactly what kind of point we wanted to build. And we could repeat that. And that's why people liked our games, because they could identify themselves to one of, to you, to Anna, to me, to Mauresmo, to Piers, to Anna, to Clashers, to whoever. And then when we were facing each other, it was interesting to see the game style. Now I feel all the girls play exactly the same. And I don't see a structure in their points. I just don't see tactically what they try to do. They hit hard, yes, of course. They're good athletes, yes, of course. I think the fitness level now that those girls are having is very high, and probably they do more fitness than what we used to do. But I think technically and tactically, we were understanding the game better. And I think that's because we were practicing a lot more on the court. I think now they do a lot more in the gym than what we used to do, and it shows physically how they're built. But I think we used to like feel the game and technically being more sounded. That's where they are now. That's my opinion. But it's difficult to compare the decades. But I think for me the top decades of women's tennis was from 2000 to 2010, 12. That was the top level of women's tennis. When Maria was at her best, when you guys were playing, Miskina, Dementieva, all the Belgium, the French, Venus, Serena, Davenport. I think all of that mixed, that was the best of women's tennis for me.
Marion,
what do you think?
Marion, what is your favorite Grand Slam? No doubt it's Wimbledon, right?
No, of course. Even though I'm French, don't get me wrong, I love Roland Garros. But Wimbledon, I mean, it's so special. Yeah.
What did you feel? What did you feel when you won the title? When finally your dream came true?
For 3 weeks after I won, I slept with a trophy next to my pillow because I couldn't believe I won for 3 weeks. Not one night, 3 weeks. Because every day I was so afraid that I would wake up and nothing of this would happen, and it would be just a dream, and I had to go back on the practice court and grind and grind and grind again. So I slept with a trophy for 3 weeks. But it was interesting because in 2013 I felt I was not playing well. I was feeling tired. My shoulder was giving up, my body was giving up, and I felt, my chance passed. It was 2011 for me was my best season when I beat Serena at Wimbledon, when I made semis at Roland Garros, when I beat Sveta there on clay. I thought I was playing my best tennis, and I still didn't win a slam. And I thought 2013, I'm just going to go through the season, whatever happens, but I don't think I would be able to win anything, to be fair. And then Wimbledon comes, I come with zero expectations, and I just start to play free. I start to play just like whatever. And one match, and two match, and three match, and Maria, supposed to play Maria, and she lose, and I'm supposed to play Vika, and she lose, and I'm supposed to play Flavia Pennetta, and she lose, and you start to see an opening in the draw, and then I was in the semi-final, and I had to play Petra Kvitova, and she lost to Kristen Flipkens, and I'm like, semi-final of Wimbledon to play Kirsten Flipkens, with all the respect, of course, but I think I can do it, I think I can beat this girl. So I go there thinking that, of course, I'm in the final, and then it's Radwanska or Lisicki, and Radwanska, I never beat her, ever. I couldn't play against this girl for some reason. With all the drop shots, and I don't know what she was doing, I couldn't beat her. So I'm like praying so much for Lisicki to win. I'm like, just don't get me Radwanska on the other side of the net, please. And I'm playing Lisicki, and then playing Lisicki to win Wimbledon, I'm like, this is my year. This is God giving me my final chance, and I have to take, and I have to go and take it, and that's it. And then I can drop the mic and I can stop the sport.
And tell me, when you were talking, with so much emotions about working with Yelena and how the girls are playing now, do you consider yourself going back on a tour with some of players, maybe not full time as an advisor, or maybe just some weeks? Do you have any options, or somebody asking you for this?
Yeah, no, of course, a lot of players have asked me already. The problem I'm facing now is because my daughter has started school, it's very, very difficult for me to leave 15 or 20 weeks because she's not going to see me for 15 or 20 weeks, and those years when they're young, it's not something you can buy again. She's only going to be 4 years old once, she's only going to be 5 years old once. And I love, of course, my job, and I love to coach and everything, but I don't want to sacrifice my family for this, and I think at some point you have to put some priorities, and I sacrificed a lot for tennis all my life, but now my family comes first. And that's why I love to coach in Dubai, because I'm there every day. I drop her at school, then I go to my job, then I pick her up from school. So for her, it's like mommy is there, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing in between. And for me, that's just easier to manage. Now, maybe in 5 years or 6 years time, it's going to be different because she will be older and maybe I can manage things differently. But for now, at that age period, I prefer my life as it is now, and it would be very difficult for me to change.
We know about your new book. You
Yes,
wrote a book about keto diet. Could you tell a little bit more about it? What inspired you to write this book?
So, when I was playing, you remember I always had struggle with my weight, and I always find it difficult to keep my weight like a top shape. And that was always a struggle for me. I felt I was never like binge eating or overeating, but my body was just storage like fat easily, and I would, especially from sugar, get like high insulin, and from the high insulin I was so fat even though I was like doing 8 hours of sport a day. So it always been like a struggle of mine. And then obviously when I had my anorexia and I went down to like almost nothing in terms of kg of kilos, then when I start to eat again, my body store everything, but even worse, than before when I was playing. So I gained like 40 kilos in 9 months, which is, you don't recognize yourself. You don't recognize yourself when you're down to 43 kilos, but you don't recognize yourself gaining so much weight so quickly because psychologically you just can't process that. It's just too much of a shock for your body.
Me, I also had the issues with overweight, but for my problem was binge eating. Like I was binging. In your question, you were also having this trouble when you were binge,
never.
or it was just
No, never.
okay.
It's just like I had insulin resistance. So when your thyroid doesn't work properly, and you eat a little bit of sugar, and then when the little bit of sugar you eat makes feel like it goes like so high, and it always been an issue for me. Even when I was playing, I had to be very careful. I could get like sports drink or a bar when I was playing the match, but as soon as the match was over, I had to stick to only protein and vegetables, because if I had like sushi for dinner or whatever kind of carbs at night, I would gain weight the next day, even if I had to play a match during the day. So it was always a problem. Then obviously when I lost so much weight, it went the other way. My body was depriving so much food. So I started to eat again, just normal portion, not binge eating, just normal. And then I gained so quickly back, but it was just like, I couldn't believe it. I was lost. I was like, what am I doing so wrong? I'm eating just fruits, and I'm eating, piece of brown bread, and I'm eating just muesli or oatmeal or something that I found is healthy. It's not like I'm binge eating like 3 muffins in a row, and I'm still gaining so much weight so quickly. So I couldn't understand. And then I started to read a lot of like comments from people who are having the same issues as me. Obviously, not being athletes, just being normal people with a lot of insulin problem and thyroid problems. And a lot of them were saying, well, I tried this keto diet, and it was the word in English that was coming back. You have a translation in French, but it was just the word in English that was coming back all the time. And I was like, you know what, I'm so desperate. Let me give it a try, because, it's just, I don't see a solution to my issue anyway. So I started gradually. At the beginning, I was doing, mistakes as everyone. I was eating too much, hiding sugar in dairy or here or there, whatever. But then I started to feel gradually better and better and better. I started to feel my energy was going up, because for me, when I eat sugar, my body crashes. I go to sleep. I feel like I have, I just go down. I have zero energy from sugar, zero at all. It just makes me feel sluggish. I start to feel a lot better. And then I start to go back to a way that I found was normal for me and for my shape. I never had like Anna's shape. So I always been a bit curvy, but I had a figure that was fine for me, which is the most important. And then obviously I got pregnant. So you gain weight through your pregnancy. And then through my whole pregnancy, I kept the keto diet. So I didn't go back to eating, like carbs or fruits or something. So the first time I saw a doctor in France that was following me towards the end of my pregnancy, like the last 2 months, they were like, what are you doing? What are you eating? This is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. I was like, but if I eat like rice and fruits and something, I'm going to gain so much weight in 1 month. It's going to be very bad as well. Like, no. You have to change everything. So I'm asking my dad, and my dad is like, I don't know. so just follow what the doctor is saying. So I followed that. In 1 month, I gained 8 kilos. So the doctor is calling me, stop this again. You get pre-diabetes. You have pre-diabetes. I'm like, I told you if I eat sugar and through any forms, I will have issues. I told you, I know my body. Okay, but I didn't know it was so bad. So then the last month I went back to keto again, and obviously I lost the weight of the pregnancy, like as a year, like in 1 year, almost like 12 months. It was okay, but it's always been an issue for me, and I think a lot of people now, especially nowadays when you have sugar absolutely everywhere. I think a lot of people are in my case, and they just don't know what they have to do. And the feeling when you're lost and you just don't know what you have to do is the worst feeling. So I don't believe in restricting your calories all the time because I don't think it's sustainable long term. It just makes you feel like so depressed constantly because you have to watch everything you're eating. So I think through this book, people will find a much easier solution and something that they can follow for the rest of their life, just like me.
I think your father has to have a new challenge as he's a doctor. He's like, okay, I need to find new science, for this kind of, because if it's, I think a lot of people, they struggle with this problem. So he has to discover something. Tell him, your father, he's like, yeah, you have a new challenge.
But it's interesting you say that because he had arthrosis in his shoulder because he was eating sugar, so he got inflammation. And I say to him, try the keto diet for 1 month. You give me 1 month, you follow it, and you tell me after 1 month. After 1 month, he could play tennis again. He could swim again. He had no more arthritis. And now he eats keto like me. So I convinced him. I made him change.
What do you think about OMAD diet, one meal per day diet?
No, I was on keto. You do intermittent fasting because on keto diet, since your blood sugar is so low, you don't really feel hungry. So your body will tap until in their reserves a lot more. So you don't feel like you have to constantly give yourself food. So I will naturally only eat 2 meals a day. I never eat 3 meals a day. And my last meal will be around 7 p.m. and then I will eat the next day at breakfast at 7 a.m. So I will have 12 hours fasting full, So it's on keto, it's a little bit the same. I never heard about the one you mentioned, to be honest with you, but on keto diet you will eat a lot less just because you don't have spikes. So you don't feel like the hunger the same way as when you have sugar, you go up, and then when you start to go down, that's when you feel hungry, and then you have to go up again with the sugar. So on keto diet, on low carb diet anyways, all the low carb diets, you will end up actually eating a lot less.
And one more thing, can I ask Anna about, these weight issues, like let's say I can say from my side, when I had those issues, I had very social, when I used to play, I never had problems with the food, but suddenly, like when you lose the match, I'm going to eat like, like some food then.
Yeah.
For me, actually, it was a burger or a muffin. I don't know why, something like this. So then it becomes like a habit, like in the life, when you quit tennis, when you go down, you're like, oh, I eat something. Oh, I eat. And then it becomes like a habit every time. So, and then, social, the people would say, oh, she gained fat. And for me, honestly, I had like plus 30 kilos from my weight now. And I felt it very much social, that pressure. And what we would like to know your opinion about, as now we can see many girls, they struggle with the weight. Doesn't matter if it's overweight or opposite. You think it's more social or it's more emotional that girls are struggling?
It's an interesting question. I think as much as brands are trying to change now the narrative of what they're selling, so for example, Victoria's Secret and all those brands are not doing anymore their shows when they used to showcase only girls that have a body that is unachievable. And everyone was looking at that as being something that we have to try to achieve. Brands have been starting to less body shaming the women's and more sort of accepting every type of body shape and whatever you're coming with, basically. But that is a side of the story, the other side of the story, and you still have all the social media, and especially Instagram, when people are trying to show themselves in the best possible version, sometimes even if they have to tweak the reality, because they see all the posts of all the girls looking like amazing with abs and in bikinis and on the beach and this and that. So I think the pressure from the society is definitely still there, which is only on women. I never heard a comment on a man being like overweight or fat that would say, oh, he just enjoy life. You know, he likes to drink, or he likes to go out, or he likes to be with his friends. But it's only comments on women, which I find is so unfair. And I think specifically for a working life, for work, appearance is still like one of the first criteria for people to be hired, which I found once again is wrong, because you should be hired based on your capabilities and what you're saying or what you're doing, not based on how you look. And unfortunately, especially in TV and especially in media, it's still a lot based on how you look and how your image will shown on TV from people that is going to watch from his couch, you know, and that would obviously a lot of pressure psychologically of someone to, you know, sort of not gaining weight and not do this and don't do that, and this is wrong to hit this and this is wrong to hit that, and I feel we have to constantly fight for this battle, because the society has to change and it has to move. And yes, of course, on the other hand, it's just healthier for your body to be in a better weight, you know, because we all know that once you're too overweight, it's not good for your health either. So I think we have to find a mid balance. But working in the media a lot, like you guys, I know that when I look now, people will hire me a lot more that, you know, when I gain all my weight after being anorexic. And people will not say, oh my God, she just came back from basically being dead and we are so happy to see her again. People will say, oh my God, how she can have, you know, gained so much weight so quickly, and she looks like a pig now, and she looks so flat, and she looks like a whale, and this and that. So they don't like, they judge you so harshly without understanding the feelings behind, without understanding the psychologically behind, and they just gonna go for the first comment that comes out of their mouth. You know, and I wish sometimes people will have a little bit more empathy and will understand a little bit more where we come from. But unfortunately, it's difficult to find those people.
Marion, and for example, if I want to buy your book, where can I get it? Where can we buy your book?
For now, it's in French. I will translate it. I will get it translated to English so a lot of people can understand, I think, English nowadays. You can find it on Amazon. And I'm very, very, very happy to say that Tom Cruise has wrote an handwriting note inside about me. So that made my whole life. This didn't make my day, it made my year, it made my whole life. I was like, if I had to show something to my daughter to say I succeed in life, this is it. That's the one. So yeah, that's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be very easy to find it. I wanted to have a title that would be easy for people to remember. So we call it Keto Queen.
It's already on sale.
Yeah. So it's on pre-sale. You can pre-order it, and it comes live on October 3rd.
I can pre-order it.
It's called Keto Queen, so it's easy to remember.
You became a mom 4 years ago. How did it change you?
Oh my God.
Why are you changing the face? Anna, you became a mom. And then like, how did it change? you feeling yourself. Like for you, it's so nice to see your smile on the face when you talk, like, how is it being your mom? And you're like so enjoying it.
Well, it would be for sure a day I would never forget, for many, many, many reasons. One, for the pain I felt because you were just so painful. I didn't have C-section. I went normal birth, and I never felt that amount of pain in my whole life. And at the same time, I never felt that amount of joy in my whole life. You know, when I heard for the first time Camilla screaming and they put her on my belly and she was there, like, you know, you have her in your belly for 9 months, but you can only feel her moving. You talk to her, but you don't see her face. You don't have the body in your hand. When it's finally there, it's concrete and it's in your hands, oh my God, I just cried and cried and cried and cried, and my entire life changed. And you know what? If you make me decide between my daughter and my tennis career, I take my daughter
and
any
Wimbledon,
day.
And Wimbledon.
And Wimbledon. I take my daughter any day. Any day. There is nothing better than being a parent in life. Nothing better. And I can have the worst shitty day possible when she run to my arms and say, "Mommy, I love you." Oh my God, my heart just melts. It just so sweet, so sweet.
Would she play tennis?
We will see. She loves sports because my husband is a football player, so she loves her ball. She loves to play. She loves to run. She runs all the time. Um, but we all know it's a tough life, and we all know it's difficult to be the daughter off or the son off. And when dad already played or mom already played, I mean, some people can make it. Corda made it. Sebastian, he plays. His sisters are playing professional golf. You can do it. Still doable. Don't get me wrong, but I will not force it. Let's put it that way. If she wants to, I will help her, of course. If she doesn't want to and she wants to do something else, of course, I will help her as well.
But you know that Dementieva, she's coaching her daughter.
Really?
And
How old is she
it was
now?
funny.
I think around 12.
No, it was funny because when we had a conversation with Sveta, that Yelena called her and said, like, you know what, my daughter is about like 11, 10 years old and she doesn't like to do warm-up. Can you speak with her? I said, like, you know what? When I was 10 years old, it was also my last thing what I would think to do warm-up. Like, and it was very funny.
Well, you have to tell me if Dementieva's mother is also coaching her. Is she or not?
We don't know.
Is she or not? Brenda, no? She's not?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We have to ask.
Because I think Grandma is going to be involved somehow.
But she has 3 kids.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Tatiana has 3 as well. Golovin. And Anastasia, the tallest one, she started tennis and now she gave up. She wants to do ice skating. I mean, it's very popular for you guys. But
I've seen her.
She's doing ice skating. Yeah.
Marion, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure,
great
girls.
conversation. Nice to see you.
Always.
We wish you all the best with all your projects. Say hi to your daughter.
I will.
And we hope to see you. We hope to see you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to see each other. Absolutely. Big kiss.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.